Let's get over to the defensive position grades. I'm going to start us off with the defensive line. Man, I love that defensive line now. I'm just loving them more and more every week I see them. Tyler Davis, KJ Henry, Xavier Thomas, all registered a sack, 15 yards rushing allowed. Okay, that comes also with 8 sacks, but and negative 42 yards for DeVito. But, man, that defensive line, to not allow any touchdowns in the red zone and on the goal line, and also to have only 15 yards rushing, effectively stopping Mo Neal, I'm giving them an A.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be in trouble for being a stringent teacher when we grade the defense today. And it's funny because Scott kind of took the words out of my mouth on defense. He said number 13 on defense was a beast, and he's exactly right. Tyler Davis looked really good. Again, he caused a lot of problems. He's anchoring the line in the middle. He's doing a great job. Thomas, Rudolph, and Henry all had good games at end. Did good things for sure. I'm looking forward to seeing a lot more of those guys in the future. Rudolph, we've been hearing a lot about him over the summer, and he's got a high motor, a little less on the measurables type thing, but he finally got loose, and hopefully he's able to do that a little bit more the rest of the year. But I gave the defensive line an A+.
I'm excited to hear about what you have to say with the linebacker core if you gave the defensive line core an A+. Isaiah Simmons, Chad Smith, and James Skalski all 1, 2, 3 as far as tackle leaders. And Isaiah Simmons obviously is really good when Tommy DeVito tried to roll out for that goal line and get into the end zone. Even though he kind of took a bad angle, he was able to stretch out because he's so tall and because he has that large wingspan. Kind of grabbed onto his foot there, stopped him. Skalski turned around and stopped him right there on that 1 yard line. Simmons tripped him up and Skalski stopped him. I felt like Skalski had his best game of the year so far. Didn't really have much negative as far as on my end. And then again, Chad Smith is just so consistent. I even saw where they let Mike Jones have a couple more snaps than usual towards after halftime. So excited to see what they're going to do in the linebacking core. Didn't really see much from Jake Venables, but I gave the linebacking core an A overall.
Yeah, I got to tell you, if Isaiah Simmons isn't watching the show, what is he doing? Okay, it's like nothing we do is good enough for this kid. Okay, I mean we gush about him every week. I haven't seen him join the show. I want to see his name pop up because this kid is unbelievable. I feel like a bad person if I don't give the linebackers an A+ every week simply because Isaiah Simmons is on the linebacking core. It's insane. This kid, his athleticism, his length is crazy. He made a ton of huge plays. Like you said, he had the shoestring tackle against DeVito there near the goal line and ended up getting the goal line stand there. He was all over the field. I actually gave them an A. As you know, I'm very critical. I mean, an A is pretty solid, but I know Chad Smith, I definitely missed a wide open sack coming from the blind side. He kind of whiffed on a sack. I want to say Skalski kind of had one of those as well, but I'm sure Smith did. But again, Mike Jones got in early. I was glad to see him in there. I really like that kid's upside and athleticism as well. But overall, great day for the linebacking unit for sure. So I gave them an A.
You said he whiffed, but isn't that the one where he whiffed and like the wind from the whiff still sacked him?
I don't even remember, to be honest with you. I don't remember, but it's like, come on, he should have absolutely planted him and maybe even caused a fumble there for sure. But he's been very consistent. I've been really proud of him lately.
YouTube is definitely saying he did whiff, but the wind from the whiff tripped up DeVito and got the sack anyway. So good job, Chad Smith's whiff. We're going to have to get you a jersey number because of that performance there. But I've got up next is the cornerbacks, Mario Goodrich. Now check this play out. Mario Goodrich in the red zone. It's a rollout to the right. He gets annihilated by the wide receiver, falls down on his butt. And DeVito thinks, oh, this guy's wide open now. Well, he jumps up so fast and immediately gets the interception right after a Trevor Lawrence interception. So I got to give Goodrich credit there for, I think he did it on purpose. I think he fell down. I think he got pancaked on purpose so that he could just quickly jump up and take an interception. So I thought that was kind of the funny play of the night, the hilarious play of the night. But again, with cornerbacks, not a lot of cornerbacks getting tested very much there. Tristan Jackson was a non-factor who I felt like they needed to stop, and they did stop. So along with the goal line stands and along with stopping their number one wide receiver from the previous game, I'm going to give them an A as well.
Yeah, I gave them an A also. I was really conflicted coming up with this grade because the ridiculous pressure that Venables was getting on, on these quarterback. They didn't really have time to throw. They didn't really have to cover very long, but the opportunities they did get, they did well. Like you said, Mario Goodrich, obviously his plan from all along, baiting him into the interception by falling down on the ground. It was a beautiful play, excellent strategy. He was able to come up with the big pick after Lawrence's interception. Huge play in the game. I was very proud of Mario and the way he stepped in for Derion Kendrick after he was having back spasms, I believe. So I gave them an A. They did a great job.
And going into the safeties, man, this secondary is just nasty. I know everybody's talking about it in chat right now, just how nasty this secondary is. Nolan Turner, wow, what a story, man. This guy should get a Heisman Trophy. Just his story alone is awesome. It'd be a great ESPN special. I think they already kind of did that, but more from Dabo Swinney's point of view. But Nolan Turner, man, a big broken up pass, 2 solo tackles. Tanner Muse being very consistent this year. Kayvon Wallace, I'm excited to see. And then, like I said earlier, Landon Zanders gets in and gets 3 solo tackles himself towards the end of the game. And he looked like he was ready to just knock somebody's block off. We talked about him in the off season before the game. Or before the season, we talked about him being a big-time hitter, kind of like a Troy Polamalu. Well, he's definitely got the hair, and it's exciting to see that secondary. Man, I got to give that secondary an A. This defense is just out of this world, way better than I think anybody anticipated. You lose 7 starters, and a lot of them first-round draft picks, and you completely change your defensive scheme from a 4-3 to a 3-3-5, and sometimes a 3-2-6, and in my opinion, better. At least better as far as the personnel you have. It's a great change for Brent Venables. Just talks about how versatile he is. He's not a one scheme guy. He's not only can have a big stack defensive line. He can do again, more with less, and he's doing great. And I won't even say less as a disrespectful thing. I'm saying less as these guys didn't come in, we knowing that they're going to be top NFL draft picks. And he is just making them look so great as a unit, as a whole, not just one person as a star, but as a whole, this defense looks amazing.
Yeah, they do. The safeties did a great job that night. I mean, they, got beat once or twice deep. No big deal. They weren't able to capitalize on it, but they just did too well overall to grade them anything but an A. They had a great night. Nolan Turner, like you said, is really becoming a leader for the defense. He is making plays all over the place. Even when he got beat deep, actually, he still was able to get back and get a play on the ball. So it was knocked it down for an incomplete pass. He's doing a good job. Tanner Muse is a big deal, becoming more consistent. Obviously he kind of had a knack for getting sucked up in the run and beat deep. It happened in the national championship as well at the very beginning. I was afraid it was going to happen a lot more than that, but he has really honed in on that and done a much better job. And obviously he brings the pain in run defense and run support for sure. Kayvon Wallace has looked good from the beginning, in my opinion. So I don't have any complaints for Kayvon. I think he's grown up a lot, and he has really become an incredibly consistent starter for us. But yeah, the safeties doing a great job in defense overall, killing it as usual, thanks to Brent Venables and, of course, the talent they've recruited.
And last but not least, we don't want to forget that special teams play. I'm going to give the special teams an A. I mean, BT Potter, 2 for 2 on field goals, 5 for 5 on extra points. Will Spires, I know it's kind of hard when you're playing against Syracuse's punter, who punts 52.2 yards average, which is just, I mean, amazing. What is he doing? Swinging like a giant baseball bat, out there of a leg. But basically, he was 40 and a half yards average, right? So I think that's what we need from him to be consistent. No big time shanks or anything. I feel like I wanted Aiden Swanson to come in and kind of take that role, but it seems like Will has kind of calmed down from him shanking and just being very consistent. So, hey, I'm going to give no misses and no shanks. I'm going to give the special teams an A there.
Yeah, I'm giving him an A as well. Like you said, Potter made his kicks, which is what we ask of him, and we don't ask Spires to be kind of the hero. We just ask him to get a decent average, and that's what he's doing right now. Obviously, it'd be a luxury to have somebody like Syracuse's punter as well, and hopefully in the future that may be Aiden Swanson. But for right now, I'm taking it all day long because we don't really need him to be a hero and get us 50 yards punt. He's doing a good job as is, so I gave him an A as well.
Some of the chat is saying that he hit off the post And yeah, he did. He 2 for 3. I put down 2 for 2. So he did hit one off the post. Let's give him a B plus.
It was a long field goal from what I remember. Somebody kind of tell us how long that was, but yeah, he did kind of clang one off the post. But again, 2 out of 3 is pretty good for the distance he was kicking from what I remember. So I wasn't going to beat him up too bad over that.
It's not my fault. I blame ESPN's box score for that.